What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you 5 ways to force a card. It's actually going to be more than 5, but whatever. There's 5 main ways that I'm going to teach you how to force a card, because I know that's what you want. You guys have been beckoning for me to teach you how to force the pasteboards onto unsuspecting victims. That's what you want. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. But first, let's do the intro. Let's just go. Okay, so real quick, before I start, I do want to talk about something that has happened recently. A good friend of mine, Krause, this is what he looks like, recently passed away. He got into an accident last week, and his injuries were substantial enough that they took him off of life support, and they eventually let him go on his way. So I just wanted to kind of give my respects. There's going to be a link in the description for a GoFundMe if you so wish to want to help the family pay for those things, if you knew Max or if you're just a kind person like that. And if you can't afford to pay anything to, donate anything, it's fine. If you could at least share the link, that would be very, very much appreciated. Max was an exceptional guy. He was a sweetheart of a man, and anybody who knew him has nothing but the best things to say about him. So with that, Max Krause, rest in peace. And to the family, I'm sorry for your loss, but it's unfortunate. And I just wanted to talk about it real quick. And sorry to bring the mood down, but he was a friend of mine. I've known him for a really, really long time. And it was sad to get the news that, 1, he was in an accident, and 2, that he eventually passed away. So that's that. So a couple of things. 1, I'm going to start integrating a little bit more of the tech stuff that I'm doing, because I do a lot of tech stuff. So in this video, I'm going to be using the Rode new mini lav system. So tell me what you think about the audio in the description below, and later on I'll show you a little bit more of how it looks and how it works and all that stuff. So for now, I'm going to be teaching you 5 ways to force a card. So we're going to be doing like a cross-cut force, we're going to be doing a dribble force, we're going to be doing a riffle force, and then we're going to be doing some forces with short cards and how to mimic a short card to make it, to help get your stop points when you're doing this kind of forces. So let's just break into them right now. So as with most things, forces are very dependent on you having a spectator. And since I don't, I'm kind of just going to run through them here and tell you how they basically work. It's not hard to get a grasp of what's going on with forces. Yeah, it feels like there's a spider on my leg or something. So the first one is the cross-cut force. This is a very simple force to do. All you have to know is the top card of the deck, and that's the card you're going to force. So you can have the spectator mix the cards or whatever, or you can mix them and just maintain that top card. When you're ready, you put the deck down and you tell your spectator to cut anywhere they want. And they cut, and they put that half on the table, and then you grab the other half and you say, you know what, we're gonna mark that spot with a cut, just like that, so we know where you cut to. And now you're gonna use some time misdirection. You're gonna talk for a few seconds or a few minutes or whatever. And when you're ready, you're gonna come back to the selection and you go, okay, let's take a look at the card that you selected. And you're gonna lift up this packet that you used to mark, and you're gonna show them this card, or let them look at that card, which is the top card of the deck. So there's not really any sleight of hand here, it's just this. So let's say this card was face down, you have them cut the card, you take the rest of the deck, you mark it with a cut, you say we'll get back to that in a minute, just remember where you cut the cards, and now you talk. And you're gonna use, this is called time misdirection. And that's it. When you're ready, you're gonna come back, lift this up, say take a look at the card that you picked, and it's the force card. That's that's it. That's the whole process right there. It's super simple. So that is the cross-cut force. Okay, so the next force we're going to do is the dribble force. Now this is a little more technical because you're going to have to hold some breaks and do some stuff. So let's use the 3 of clubs. That's going to be our force card, okay? And you're going to have the spectator say stop anytime they'd like. Just say stop right there. And it's the 3 of clubs. So here's what is a goings on. I actually have a break above the 3 of clubs. Okay? That's basically it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this break and I'm going to hold it with my thumb like this. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm going to hold it with my thumb like this, trying my best to keep the rest of the deck as square as possible, right? Because you don't want this. Right? So just a little break there. I'm pushing everything down except that back corner, and I'm holding everything together with my fingers. And from here, I'm just going to dribble. And I'm going to time it with when they say stop. So they say stop, and I just drop everything, right? So you're here, dribble, they say stop, and once they say stop, I drop everything. And now I show them the card. Now, if they go past that, like let's say you get past your break, just hold a break and just keep dribbling all the rest of the cards. Don't stop. Just go, you know what, we'll do it again. And now you just get back into position, and now they'll say stop sooner. As soon as they say stop, you drop, and you show them the force card. That is it. That is the Dribble force. And if you want an easy way to get into it, you could just peek the top card, and now you can pull an in jog and cut. So now you have an in jog. This is your 3 of clubs. If I push down on that, I get an instant break, and now I can go in and do the dribble force like that. Okay, so the riffle force is probably easier than the dribble force. Let's say we have a 7 of spades. That's going to be our force card, okay? So you just tell your spectator to say stop. Wherever they say stop, you lift up and you show them the force card. Now what's really happening here is I'm not lifting up, obviously, when they say. I'm going to use a little subtlety. So I have a break above the selection, and now I have it a little lower than half, right? It's not exactly half, it's a little bit lower than half. And I'm going to start to riffle down the side of the deck with my thumb, holding that break. So I riffle down. Once they say stop, now I'm going to show you the difference here. This is where my card actually is, and this is where I stop. My break is actually lower than that position. You see that little line? That's where the break actually is. So I'm going to slide my finger in, and then I'm going to let go of the deck here. And I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm just going to lift up at the break. And that's it. And then I hand them the card. So in full motion, I'll hold the card like this. So they say stop right there. Okay, we'll just stop right about there. And they take the card. And that's it. That's the riffle force. It's similar to the dribble force in that you're holding a break, but you don't necessarily have to drop the card. So you get a lot more cover with your angles. So one more time, let's say the 6 of spades. They say stop. Wherever they say stop, you put your finger in, you let go, lift up at the break, and hand them the force card. Now I'm going to show you how to do this, and actually most of the forces without holding a break, using a short card, which we'll talk about later. But for now, I figured I'd show you the traditional way to do it. So there you go. That is the riffle force. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a short card, because we're going to need a short card for the rest of this. So I think there's one right about there. There we go. So what I like to use is actually nail clippers. It's easier to create a short card with this and to make it nice and rounded. So just for whatever's sake, let's use a card. I'm going to use the 3 of spades. I actually use a different card, which I'm not going to tell you. But yeah, the way I like to make the short card is like this. I'm going to riffle from this corner. And if I'm going to riffle a lot, I'll do it that way. If I'm going to do a lot more dribble stuff, I might do the opposite corner. But for argument's sake, I'm going to do all 4 corners. So here's what I'm going to do. You take the card, you take your nail clippers, just like this, and you're just going to trim off just a little bit like that. You see that? Just a little bit. And now you come over and you're going to fix this trim so that it's nice and round. So now it's nice and rounded. We're going to do the same on all 4 corners. Okay, so there you go. Now this is just one type of short card. There are others that like edge shorts like are used that are like used in Svengali decks. So you could like riffle this way and do that. But I just made a corner short card. So if you look, it's hard to see, but these corners don't line up exactly. See that? Get little edges sticking out. And this is what's going to help us force a card with this. So if you're going to use a short card, the card that you're forcing has to be above or below this card, right? So say the 3 of spades. If I want to force the 3 of spades like this, I can just dribble and I can actually force the short card. Or if I was doing like a riffle force like this, I could say stop. And now the force card would be above, so I would be forcing the card below it, right? So you have to know how you're using your force card and what you're using it for in order to position the card that you're forcing. Also, you can use it as a spot card. So like right here, I can see that there's a short card right there. So if I really wanted to, I could have this card at the bottom of the deck. I could have somebody take one, put it on the bottom of the deck, give the deck a cut or something, and then I would know by spreading to it where the selection is, or I could riffle to it, or I could side it and get right to the card that way also. So there's many different ways to use a short card. So for this, I'm going to show you a peak force. So I'm just going to run through the deck and you just say stop. They say stop. There's your jack. And you riffle off again. So one more time, you riffle through, they say stop. And you riffle off. And this is really easy only because, I mean, it clicks. You hear that? I don't know how well. Right, you can hear that. But there is a click that happens. And if you were doing it from the top, it would have to be a little bit more like this. But because I have the corner shorts, it doesn't matter which corner I'm using. I can just, right there, jack of hearts every time. No breaks, no nothing. So I can have my head turned and then have them say stop. And bam, I'll get right to that force card every single time. It's the same thing. If you want to do the dribble force with this, you can. You just dribble till you hit your little bang. The force card goes down. And that's the card you'd be forcing. That brings me to another thing. I want to show you how to use 𝗙𝗛𝗢𝗓𝗔𝗠 to do some of these same forces. So let's just say, for instance, we're going to force the 3 of clubs, right? So here's how this would look without a short card. Okay, so just say stop. Same thing. So let's do a different card now. Let's do the ace of clubs. Okay, so now I'm going to force the ace of clubs, and it looks like this. So just say stop. And that's it. Now, you may not be able to see it because I've been doing this for a while, but I have made an impromptu short card. And here's how this works. This is actually really cool. You start with an 𝗙𝗛𝗢𝗓. So let's say I want to force the 10 of hearts. So I take the card below it and I'm going to push that card in as I square everything up. I'm going to let the deck flex to the side so that I have this, right? So that I could riffle. And from here, I could actually hold the deck like this and do that same riffle force, right? Because I'll have a click, right? So, right, and I'll have that. If you want to make it a little bit more advanced, what you're going to do is you're going to take this corner, the corner that you're pushing the deck to. So since I'm a lefty, I'm pushing the deck right. So I'm going to use the lower right corner and I'm going to push it up at an angle. Now this is really exaggerated, but even this you can use as long as that deck is beveled. You see that? You can't see it from this angle. And now you grab the deck just like this from the corner and you have your impromptu short card. So now as you riffle, you will stop on that card. All right, so you just say stop, bang. And now you can go to somebody else and say stop, bang. Just say stop. You see what I'm saying? And when you're done, there's nothing else to show. You just square up the deck and that's it. So play around with that a little bit. I just wanted to show that to you because it is something that I do. So, you know, if you don't necessarily want to use a short card, but you do want to force a card, you can do that as well. So you come here, just say stop. There's my short card right there. And that's it. All right, so that is it. That is some ways to force some cards. Let me know in the description below what other kind of tutorials you want me to teach and what kind of tech stuff do you want to know about? Because I'm going to start bringing this stuff in. So real quick, I just wanted to show you this Rode system. This thing is great. So that's it right there. Here we go. That is the system. I have a longer wired lav. I'm waiting for a new one to come in. But this is the entire lav unit right here. So this comes with a receiver and a transmitter. This is the transmitter. This is the receiver. It's literally the same. Oh, it's literally the same size, right? So I'm actually using it right now, as you can see. And this is the entire system right here. This is, it's so cool. I'm not gonna go too much into the specs. I'm just going to let you listen to it and decide what you think of it. This thing costs $200 US, not including the wired section, because this has a microphone right there. So if I wanted to, I could just clip it onto my shirt and that's it. I'd be ready to go. So I'm testing this out. So I really am curious as to see what you guys think of the audio. I think in the intro it's going to be a bit loud because I had to lower the settings. But yeah, I am interested to know. All right, guys, so that's it. That is some ways to force some of the pasteboard, some of the playing cards on some people. That's about it. Tell me what you think about those little lav mics. I'm actually using it right now, so tell me what you think about the audio. I'm curious to hear how it sounds. I think it's going to sound pretty good. I've used lavs before, but this one is so small and compact. I want to start using it more. Also, tell me what you thought of the tutorials. Look, I'm hitting my mic. Tell me what you thought about the tutorials, and tell me what other kind of tutorials you're looking for, and what kind of tech stuff you want me to go over. I'm pretty techie. I know a lot about tech stuff, and I kind of want to break into it a little bit more, integrate a little bit of what's going on. So tell me what you think about that. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you guys in the next video. 𝐷𝐈𝐒𝐄.